This is what I eat in a day over 50 to get in shape. And what I'm talking about is really high protein meals, but it doesn't have to mean boring. And it's about getting carbs into, but just limiting those carbs. Hello fam, and welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa Neal, and this channel is all about helping you, if you're a woman over 40 or like me, over 50, get in fantastic shape. And one of the biggest things has got to be nutrition. And I've been eating like this for a number of years. So I want to eat the foods I love. I want to feel satisfied, and I want it to be flavoursome. I'm starting off with breakfast, and I'm just going to have a really simple, quick and easy breakfast. I eat this post-workout. I sometimes eat it pre-workout. I'm not actually doing a strength training workout today. I'm still going to have one of my staples, which is protein and oats, otherwise known as proats, because it's really quick to make. So I'm just going to take a bowl there, and I'm going to measure out 50 grams. Most people are going to need about 40 or 50 grams. Then I'm just going to add some water to that. I've got boiled water here because it's just going to cook a bit quicker, and I'm going to microwave that in a second. But I'm just also making myself a hot drink. Lime water. I always have lemon or lime water in the morning. I find that gets me really hydrated, so that's important at this stage in life. So I've microwaved that there, and now I'm just going to add this protein powder. So I just like to add it afterwards and cook the oats on their own in just water. You could use plant milk as well. Because it's starting to get a little bit dry, I'm just going to add some plant milk. I've got coconut milk there, but you could use any kind of unsweetened plant milk. Watch out for that, because a lot of plant milk is actually sweetened. They add sugar. The less sugar you can have in your diet, the better it's going to be, especially if you're around menopause. So just mix that in. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add this frozen fruit. I've defrosted those frozen berries now, so I'm just going to add that in. I'm going to add some Greek yogurt, just a dollop of Greek yogurt. And this is 0% fat here, and it's just going to add a little bit of extra protein. So that's around about 30 grams, and it's going to just add a really nice taste to it. And just because the Greek yogurt, you know, it's got no sweetener on it, I'm just going to add a little bit of sugar-free maple syrup there, just to give it that extra sweet taste, because I do have a sweet tooth. That's it. That's my simple protein and oats with a dollop of Greek yogurt and berries. Next up, Ken's going to make us his amazing soup. What he does is he makes a huge pot of this soup. What we do is we add our protein source as and when we eat it. So you can add things like beans, you could add things like lentils, you could add things like chicken, fish or tofu, or even lean meats like lean beef and lean lamb.
Bone broth, onions, which I've already chopped up, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, pepper, red pepper, hot pepper, sugar snap peas, some pumpkin, and a sweet potato. 0 calorie oil. When the onions get them to sweat.
Ken's doing is he's just putting all the vegetables we've got. We didn't get anything especially. He's putting in anything that we've got. If you want to have some sort of carb in with your soup, there's squash and sweet potato and potato, but you don't have to have all of those, just whatever you've got. Chili peppers, Brussels sprouts.
Top it up with some water and season to how you like it.
Ken is putting some of the soup, but not all of the soup, into a blender.
Look at this.
Oh, yummy!
After seasoning, see how it tastes.
So what we're going to do now is we're adding our own protein sauce. Ken's having chicken and I'm going to have smoked salmon with mine.
Chicken.
So if you're vegan, you're not going to have the bone broth, so just use some vegetable stock or water, and then you can add something like beans, and then you sprinkle on the top with nutritional yeast, and that'll make the protein really high. I've just added smoked salmon to mine, and what I've done is I've just shredded it into the soup. Just zoom in on that. 100 grams of smoked salmon there, so that's going to keep me really full. Let me just taste it now. That is amazing. You can taste the chili pepper, but it's not really hot. These are frittatas, but what I'm doing is putting them in these bun. This is a silicone bun tin. What you can do is have them as snacks. You could make them in a much bigger container and have it as a full meal. And what I've got here is I'm going to mix some egg whites. These are kind of egg whites that you can buy in a packet. Eggs are actually really difficult to get hold of here in the UK, but I managed to get that, but we're only allowed 1 or 2 packs of eggs each, which is actually a big problem for me because I eat about 3 eggs a day. So I'm going to mix with egg whites. You don't have to. I'm a big fan of actually just eating the whole egg, but if you're watching your calories, then you might want to go for egg whites as well. I'm going to do half and half. What I've got here is I've just chopped up any kind of vegetables you've got going. I've got mushrooms and peppers, and then I've got this Greek feta, which I absolutely love. Now, Greek feta is great because it's lower in fat than, say, cheddar cheese, and it's also made with sheep's milk and goat's milk. If you look for the one that's made with sheep's milk and goat's milk, it's actually much better for your digestion for most people than cow's milk. Probably do about 100 grams of that, or 150 actually, 150 grams of that. And then I'm just going to crack some eggs in. So I probably put about 6 eggs in there, and these are just really great for an on-the-go snack. You can eat more of them and have them as a main meal. So I've just got to whisk this up there. Just sprinkle some of the veggies in here, and I've actually got to do a shout out to Chef Maria Ibrahim, who I've made a video about on my channel because she taught me this. She actually did a workshop with me and my VIP coaching clients, and this was one of the dishes she taught us. So I did promise her that I was actually going to make a video with me making them. So I'm pleased to say that was actually quite a long time ago. I can share that with you now. So you see what I'm trying to do there is I'm trying to sort of proportion the vegetables equally. You don't have to be too particular about it. So you're going to have quite a lot of veggies in and a little bit of protein. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to put the egg mixture on, and I'll crumble the feta cheese because the feta cheese is only just a small amount. And I have to say, I don't really like egg whites, but I'm okay with them when they're actually mixed with eggs. But egg whites on their own, really don't like them. I filled up the 12 muffin trays, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this feta, and it's just a tiny amount in each, And it's just going to give it that saltiness that you get, which is really amazing. You're obviously going to get a little bit of protein with it as well. So that's done now. It's not exactly the same in everyone. And what I'm going to do now is the pièce de résistance, which is dried chili flakes. Now, not everybody likes this. You could just season with pepper. There's actually no need to put salt in because the feta is quite salty on its own, and I'm just putting like a few chili flakes to taste. So it's not going to be really fiery. It's just going to add that, you know, little bit of pepper. And Ken, he likes to have his stuff with pepper on it because he's from the Caribbean. So I'm going to put that now in the oven. They normally take about 15 to 20 minutes. Not that long, it might even be 10 minutes. 350 Fahrenheit and 180 Celsius for the UK. So I'm just going to take these out of the oven. They've risen, so they do get quite puffy to start off with, but then they do flatten out again. So you're just going to try this, are you?
Yeah.
Yes. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, have a go. Hot pepper.
I love eating sweet things. And so one of the things is trying to incorporate sweet things that don't break the bank when it comes to your nutrition, and you're still getting your protein in, you're still not having too much sugar or refined carbohydrates. So I'm going to make this banana loaf, and I'm going to be using oatmeal. I've already blended this oatmeal, so I've blended it up so it's kind of in a flour, but it's really easy just to blend it up in a NutriBullet. I'm going to take these bananas, you can mash them, but I'm going to blend them up. They'll be nice and smooth if I do that. So I got 3 bananas there. Put that in here. Take my blender, put it on for a few seconds. Once I've blended my bananas, I want to take a bowl, and this bowl actually belonged to my mum. It was from Malawi, and she's actually given it to me, which is amazing. I think it's from the 1960s. So I'm going to actually now put all my dry ingredients together. So that's 90 grams of that oatmeal flour that I talked about. I've got some baking powder there, so I'm going to put 2 teaspoons in. You could use baking powder, a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda if you like. I'm going to take some cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and I'm going to put a couple of teaspoons of that because I quite like having the spicy taste. I'm just going to take some scales there, and I'm going to weigh some sweetener in. Now, I've just got this sweetener here, Canderel, but you could use any kind of sweetener. So it's going to be around about 90 grams of that. 90 grams is about 3 ounces. Adding 2 scoops of this protein powder. This is this Cymix protein powder, and they do really big 45 gram scoops. So that's going to take me to about 90 grams of protein powder, and then I'm just going to stir it all in. I'm going to mix it in. Once I've stirred that, I'm going to put that to one side. So now that I've done the dry ingredients, I'm going to do the wet ingredients, starting off with some eggs. It's just 2 large eggs in this one. I'm just going to whisk them. See that there, and then I'm going to add the banana that I've blended up. I want to try and get as much of this as possible. Got the banana in there, and I'm just whisking that into the eggs. And then I need to add some milk. I'm using plant milk. You could use any milk that you've got, and that's 50 ml. I'm going to add some pecan nuts for flavour. So it's going to be about 50 grams for the whole cake. I'm going to just roughly chop them there. Got the wet ingredients ready, so all I'm going to do now is just mix the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients. So it's best to do it a little bit at a time. So I'm just putting the last bit of the dry ingredients in there. I'm going to take this loaf tin. I've got a silicone one here because it's way easier to get it out. I'm going to put the nuts in there, mix it around. I'm going to put that in the oven. That's going to be about 180 or 360 Fahrenheit, 180 centigrade. And I'm going to do that for about 40 minutes.
Well, these are...
There's not much of that left, is there?
Not much, because it's so delicious.
Me and Ken have been working out together for over a year now, and we've been eating together, haven't we,
right,
since about 8 months ago it is now.
Yeah.
So how are you finding it?
I find it very good. Cut the sugars out. I had problems with my knees, and now they're better. Fitness level is better. I can run for a bus. Life in general has improved.
And it's really good that we do our food together because it helps us both keep on track, doesn't it?
That's right,
Because we're not doing separate meals, we were doing separate meals.
Yeah, feel healthier.
Because we're doing this as a couple, it makes it much better, much easier to follow, doesn't
That's right,
it?
yeah, because we're eating the same foods. We are monitoring each other, basically.
Yeah,
So,
and we do the same workouts, don't we? So I know a lot of guys who are watching this, because I do get guys watching this, they say, well, will this work for men? Yeah, it's worked for you, hasn't it?
That's right, absolutely, 100%, yeah.
You do everything, Ken does everything I do, so all that food that you've seen, he does the same food. It's just that he eats more because he's bigger and he weighs more. So somebody that's bigger and weighs more actually can eat more and still lose body fat, whereas I can't. I have to eat a lot less calories because I weigh less and I'm smaller. It makes it so much better doing it together.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're much healthier now, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. We're trying to reach the same goals, so which is easier, and it's great. I think it's for me. It's when you go shopping and you're passing all the snacks and the sweets, just to pass it. Don't reach out. And sugar is the problem. It's deadly, I think.
Absolutely.
It's a drug, and to try and limit it, because it's really is hard. Yeah. It's in everything, isn't it? In most foods. Look out for the labels and stuff like read the labels and look out for sugar-free foods. Food
we've been eating, it's really filling, isn't it? Right. And it keeps us, we got enough energy to do all our training.
Yeah, I eat more of the right foods and I've lost weight.
I'm actually running a coaching program for couples, and I'm looking for 5 couples to work with. 5 couples just like me and Ken. You don't have to have a fitness background. And if that's of interest to you, I'm going to put a link in the description and you can go on and fill in a form. There's no obligation. And one of my team will get in touch to see if you're right fit for the program. But I can tell you, doing this as a couple, if you're in a relationship, maybe you're married, it's just so much better than doing it on your own, isn't it?
Right, yeah.